From virtual reality to augmented experiences, are you ready? Welcome to the XR Club, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs.
Welcome to the XR Club video series. My name is Jared, and today I will be talking about VR Home. This app allows you to tour and design a new home in high-definition virtual reality. First, I'll go over a brief introduction to virtual reality, and then talk about how the app was made and how to use it. So virtual reality is the total replacement of the real world with a digital one. This is a fully immersive experience, which means you cannot see the real world anymore. This could mean you're on a space station or possibly in an assembly plant anywhere in the world. This does require new special equipment to handle this. Currently, most methods are through a tethered device to a very powerful computer. However, there are many new devices that have come out over the past year that increase the accessibility, allowing you to have an untethered experience, meaning there's no cord, but you may still require a computer, and there are even more devices that allow you to have a fully contained experience untethered. Devices such as the Oculus Quest or the HTC Vive Focus Pro 2. These devices are fully contained, meaning they don't require the PC and they require no additional equipment. They do not produce as high of graphics as the more expensive alternative, but they are more accessible. So how is virtual reality being used? It's being used in training and collaboration, and retail and entertainment, and many others. For training, we're able to train employees or individuals with equipment that doesn't need to exist in real life. So we can train, say, a doctor to do a medical procedure without actually needing a patient or operating tools there. We can also train engineers to assemble vehicles or automotive parts without the requirement of having additional equipment there that could get damaged during the training process. With the training and collaboration both, we are able to do real-time chat and live support, as well as multi-user experiences, allowing for a proctor to student collaboration, as well as training multiple students at once. The technology is getting much more accurate to real-world physics and feel, so things react the way they would in the real world. In retail and entertainment, it's being used to showcase products in full size, one-to-one scale with their real life counterparts. You can showcase your entire inventory without needing to bring it with you, and you'll get a real experience from it, including full interaction with the object. So say you're showcasing a car, you can actually open the door, get into it, put your hands on the steering wheel, play with the dials, maybe even turn on the radio. It's also being used in museums to expand experiences with exhibits, as well as movies and games. The major platforms for VR right now are HTC and Oculus. This is a tethered PC experience. It requires a powerful PC to run. It is limited, however, to a small play area, as well as it does require more setup, as you have to have the desktop or laptop, as well as additional equipment called lighthouses that will stand on either side of your viewing area. This does, however, produce high definition graphics and rendering, so if that's what you need, this could be the route to take. There are new devices, however, from both HTC and Oculus that are untethered and fully encapsulated. As I mentioned earlier, the Oculus Quest and the HTC Focus Pro 2. So now I'm going to talk about our app and how we built it. So building 3D models can be costly. This is one of the main blockers that we run into for this. However, there's many different ways to bring your information to life. You should consider what you need for your project before starting. For us, we used pre-made models. There's a large number of assets available. You get a faster startup with this because you don't have to build from scratch. The objects can be interactable, but they may require some resources in order to make that happen. And the only downfall really is that they may not be exactly what you need. The next way to get your models is through 3D scanning. This would require special equipment to capture the 3D images, and it would take some time to create these images. The objects, however, will require quite a bit of work in order for them to be interactable. So if you want to scan a car, for example, in order to get the car to open the door, it's going to take much more work by your 3D programmer. This, however, will give you a very lifelike representation of your actual 3D or your actual real object. Lastly, there is custom models. These require time and resources in order to create, but they can be made exactly to the specifications. They can be made to be fully interactable. And the models could be from a current database that you already have and brought into the 3D realm. And if you do custom models, of course, you will have full ownership over them at that point. The VR home pipeline, we created our 3D models, integrated them into the VR app. We created our interactions and then rendered. From that point, we simply tour and design our home. Starting from a solid pipeline will help to expedite production. What I mean is plan ahead for what you need from your final product. How are we going to ingest our 3D models? Do we need them to be interactable? Do we want to be able to change the colors? If so, then we have to consider custom-built models or pre-made models. If we simply want a perfect representation of the object that we're looking at, then we could have just 3D scanned it. And then we used rendering with post-processing to give a more realistic feel to the environment that we're walking around in. And it can be very time consuming to create a great look to your scene. So once you've found a good render pipeline to use, it's generally good to make that into a preset so that you can continue to use those settings later on. And then, of course, test your final result and adjust accordingly. So, touring and designing your home. The VR home is a total immersion experience. It provides a lifelike representation of a home, and you can view that from anywhere without needing the actual model of a home. The room is at a 1:1 scale, so when you step into it, it does feel like you're really there. We're utilizing Unity's HD render pipeline to give a realistic feel to the room. Users can move anywhere freely, view the room from any angle. It's not like a 360 video where you're kind of locked into a point. If you want to crouch down and look under the cabinets and view things from a different angle, if you want to look out the window, you can do all of these things. In our app, we allow users to choose a product tier, giving a different look and feel to the room, as well as adding additional appliances. And as you can see here, at the top we have Tier 1. On the bottom left is Tier 2, and the bottom right is Tier 3. And looking closer at the videos, we've changed the textures as well as added objects to the room. So these objects could be anything in the scene really, as well as interacted individually, if you prefer that over the changing the full tier. All right, next you'll see a live demo of this app in action.
Hello and welcome to Home VR. Today I'm going to show you our virtual home experience. As you can see, everything is created in a 1:1 aspect ratio, so it feels and looks real. We have 3 different color schemes to view the room, so you can view it as if it was your own room. We have multiple ways to move through the environment. You can either teleport, as you just saw, or just simply walk through the environment. And looking around, you can see that the lighting is changed based on the color of the room to reflect what it would look like in the real world in the current color scheme. All right, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for joining the XR Club, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs.